Okay. All right. This meeting is being live streamed. I got that. I got my live, and now I'm ready to go. Everybody's cameras are on. Those that are coming online. And Drake, what did your group decide? When I looked at your group earlier in the afternoon, I wasn't able to see what was the final one that you decided on.
We're just gonna stick with AI interior design.
Okay. So did you make that set? So what I like to do for each group, make sure that you have it, make a basically under those projects, a folder where it says final proposal, and put that up so I don't have to open up. Also put it as in the item, write that out so I don't have to open up documents that I quickly can see what everybody's group is, what's their final project going to be. Okay. So Franco and Priscilla and Andrew, Patrick and Francisco, do I have your cameras? Okay. Number one, we're having a lot of different speakers, and I'm so thrilled that I have academic relationships with software companies that are allowing us to use their software that is on their business paid versions, but we're getting it complimentary. So, as I mentioned before, for your project, we will start with doing your project, thinking about the idea of what you've done in the proposal and presenting that in the as your website. You can play around with your website already. On next Monday, we will have the Wix representative come in and give a formal presentation to us, and also give the codes where we can upgrade to the free version. But in Wix, what I suggest you do is you can invite other members. One person needs to register, and then the others, you can make roles of managers. And basically try to succinctly in the website discuss what you're trying to focus in upon. We also talked about AI, you remember? And what I want us to do is to get hands-on training on AI. We discussed before what we call learning models, and what's the difference between the generative AI and regular AI is the generative AI creates new product or new writings. There's something called a large language model that's something like OpenAI or ChatGPT or Bard, Google Bard, that uses what they call a learning language model that for right now, you do not have access to put in your own materials. There's a new company out there called Personal.ai. And I have invited the CEO, the founder of that company, to our class on Wednesday. Our assignment will be everybody in the class will create their own personal AI, and we will be upgraded. We will be upgraded to their personal, we will be upgraded to their premium version. So by the end, we will have, so I request, and you can tell your other group members that attendance is required this Wednesday. Even though we take attendance every time, we don't have a full class, because what we can do, our assignment will be creating our own personal AI and we will be then able to do a training session with the CEO. Isn't that great? I mean, how great is that? I'm just thrilled. And we're able then to get their premium version. Dylan basically tried it out, and we could see, Dylan, right, there was a number of limitations just using the free version. Let's see how it is in the premium version. We can give them feedback on it since they are allowing us, and we can see after they give their first tutorial to us, we can consider as a class, is this appropriate to even incorporate in our own projects? You understand, Andrew? So in this case, we get the CEO to come. By the end, he's going to give us a teaching training that everybody's going to follow along. We'll create our own personal AI. We will all do that. That'll be an assignment for all of us. And then we'll consider, where do we go from there? Is this what we want? We can think about, do we want to experiment and put it into our own product? He's giving this to us for what I understand till the end of the semester. So what I suggest you do is look at personal AI before he comes and get a feel for what types of questions we want to do, what we're about. Questions? Lena, you have any questions on that?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So what do you think about that, Lena?
I think it'll be good to like have someone like help us along with it.
Right. Help us along with it and actually show it to us rather than actually what I don't like, ChatGPT, there's not a lot of training that you need, right? Just asking questions and prompts, you can kind of learn, but something like that, where I think what is nice is, Lena, you could even put that on your LinkedIn or in your resume that you have your own personal AI. Who has that? And then you can say, hey, I've created it, that you can create it for even companies, that you can do your own data. Or we can say, what are the disadvantages? Or you can be intelligent enough, Lena, and say, this is just the beginning and it's going to get better each time. And then we can talk to him about thinking about where he's going to go with it. So I think that's great. And on Monday, we'll have Wix come in and show us. What I want to do in Wix too is have Zoom meetings, that you schedule Zoom meetings and have Zoom integrated with Wix. So Lena, what is your proposal on?
We have like a personal like an AI like life coach type of thing.
Okay, so that's perfect. So you could even have meetings that even with a personal AI, the personal AI could even basically be in your Zoom meetings, and you can invite professionals around the world that actually do coaching. And then we can create then a calendar in your website to say, hey, this is next month's calendar. And you could do some meetings, and you can invite, for instance, others that are interested in getting like coaching, and others that are possibly professional coaches. I see it as working together. Sometimes you really want just a human being to figure out, and otherwise you want to have the assistant. So everybody will be doing the Zoom. So what I want to make sure that Wix makes sure that lets us know, how do we integrate Zoom? Just like we're integrating Zoom here in Blackboard. You see that we're going through Blackboard to get on Zoom. You see that, Lena? We didn't go straight to Zoom because we have what they call an API. And you can write that down. That's called an application programming interface. That means getting two software programs to link together. So anytime somebody you want to say, yes, I want to have Zoom, you can ask that person, hey, do you have then that API? Do you have a Zoom with another program like Wix? And Wix does have that. The only difference here we got to emphasize, since Zoom, we have to be the administrator. Lena, are you the administrator of zoom.miami.edu? What do you think? Are you the administrator? What?
No.
No.
I don't think
neither
so.
am I. I'm not the administrator either. So, but I'm a user and you're a user. So when we get Zoom, when we download the free version of Zoom, we'll be our own administrator. So then we have to be our own administrator. So we'll use Zoom's copy then. We'll have to emulate using Zoom as our personal version because we're not administrators. So these are things that you need to kind of think about. You think to yourself, hey, when I download for free, am I the administrator? Yes. Because there's a free version of Zoom. Am I with the universities? The reason why we like the universities, they have more features than we do, than the free version. We can go for longer periods of time. We can go to YouTube Live. We have a number of different features. We can record on the cloud. We have a number of different features that we can do that we're not able to do otherwise. So that is the way. In your project too, what I want is that have at least 3 social media sites. And along with that, thinking about 3 social media sites is that you can create then your own, and you can choose which one. Do you want a YouTube channel? Do you want TikTok? Do you want to do Instagram? You choose at least 3. And then as we go along, you populate that as well, because what do we want? We want to have visibilities, and you'll visit each of those. And we'll cover that more in detail.
I have a question. Do you have like an actual rubric for this project?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Yes, I do. Because there's so much to do. So that's nice. So then you can even make, so Andrew, then you can even make assignments. These people will be in charge of the social media. We'll cover it. These people are in charge of doing the homepage as well. And I'll cover that. What else? So let me look at, let me share my screen. Share screen. I have so many different things here, and now I need here. We know we're here. This is GH, it is. And now we have what's due. Monday, next Monday before class, chapter 10, ERP quiz, and chapter 10, adaptive assignment. Let me make sure they're available. Let me go to quizzes. And under quizzes, let me make sure that's chapter 10. Edit the test options. Open a new make available. Add a new announcement. Give it 2. We don't need 4. Too confusing. It must be due date. And let's make it at 3:30, right? And we have it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when is the final like due date for this project as well? Is it before
The final
test,
due date we'll have on December 5th, we'll have a presentation.
Okay.
And
So
then it will be finally do all the materials and everything that you've done. I'll give you feedback on it. Will be the time of the final exam.
Okay, so this is pretty much our final then? Or do we have a final exam?
You have a second exam when?
No, the week after Thanksgiving, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Pavel, rather than giving you a final exam, I'd rather you concentrate on the project.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
To me, it makes more sense. Get that out of the way, and then you can, till the end, you have enough to do. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I probably.
And then there'll be materials. It'll be on chapters 4 and 5 of the last one, which is security and data analytics, and the next chapters we do of cloud and ERP and data analytics. Okay.
right. Yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. And keep up the good questions. Okay, so what I'd have then, if I look at the PowerPoints then, and the Wiley Plus, if I look at the Wiley Plus resources, you can see here that I have chapter 10, which is called ERP. And ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. That's what it's, ERP and information systems. And you can think about the idea. Let me get the PowerPoint up. Is they talk about systems. And when we talk about systems, they talk about something called transaction processing systems. And a lot of times the acronym for that is, what do you think? Drake, transaction processing systems, what do you think that would be? TPS, transaction processing systems. And what basically we can think about is also ERP, enterprise resource systems. So, an enterprise is what, Andrew? You think?
A business or like corporation.
Yeah, it's any organization, and usually an enterprise, many times they think about it as a large organization with different what? Departments in it. So what do we know dear to our heart, Lena, is what? The university. Is a university an enterprise, Lena? Of course it is, right? And then if I think about it, a grocery, right? If I go to Whole Foods, I go to Publix, I have, and basically Publix is an enterprise system. And what they have is they have to process many times their transactions. So if I go to Publix, Pavel, I go to Publix and I go on the checkout counter, the cashier is there, and what did they do? I have, I bought water and I bought eggs. What do? They basically what? Swipe it. I can do it myself, right? If I go to CVS, you know, you can do it if I go to Home Depot. Sometimes you do your own swiping. And what is that? Basically, everything that I buy then is basically, I can think about it, Drake, as what? A transaction. Do you understand that? That's called a transaction system. Now, these transaction systems, why do they process it? Of course, they want to keep track of what I bought, right? Have you ever seen those shows where they'll look at the cameras and say, did they, for theft, right? Did they go through that counter? Or, have you ever seen those shows? What is it, Dateline or something? They'll show, oh, that person there, they bought a tarp and they bought a shovel and, they went to Walmart and then they buried somebody in the sand or something, right? So they go and they say, did they go through? And then they match what? The receipts, right, from that register at 4 o'clock, they're able to see what was happening. And why do they use it? They use it for inventory, right? Take it off the shelf. I have to order more. That's called transaction processing. Online transaction processing is really what's today, is that it's not done in a batch format, like all together as one, but it's done one by one. So if I go on the airline site, I purchase a ticket, right? I'll go from here to Las Vegas and back. That's going to be online. I have that transaction. So that is done continuously. So what's going to be important in transaction processing systems, and I know what the acronym is, TPS, that it's going to be real time. At 4:01, I scan that item. I'm going to be able, of course, these transaction processing systems are going to be able to handle huge amounts of data. And what's the thing? I don't want them to start. Have you ever seen it sometimes when they try to scan it in and then they're typing, it doesn't accept it, start typing. It's going to avoid errors, downtimes, and I can think about it, but that it's going to be accurate. I don't have people typing in their codes. What is important? I got to maintain my privacy, security. I don't want someone to hack. One of the things that happened in Target was when you go to Target, for instance, and you put in tap your credit card or tap your phone, that's what they call a point of sale system. What they did is they hacked into that point of sale systems, and they were all able to get everyone's credit card information and hack that system because they got into the point of sale system. So what's important here is privacy and security. And what batch processing is sometimes what they'll do is they'll process it in a batch. Let me get like 20 transactions and then I'll process it. Or even fines, parking fines. They'll put it into the system, maybe not automatically, they'll batch it together. So this is what you need to see. This cylinder right here always represents Gabriel what? This cylinder called organizational database. I just said it. This cylinder right here is called a database. And what is the database? The database are, for instance, my financial, my decision, my dashboards. These are all put into the organizational database. And how a transaction processing system works is I have a business event. I have what they call, it goes into transaction process and goes into organizational databases. So Dylan, in these organizational databases, enterprises then can retrieve that information with what programming language? Dylan?
SQL.
SQL, that SQL has that database. And I could use a number of different sources. I could use Oracle, I could use Microsoft's database, I could use a number of different databases. And what's important here is that it could be organized where I have all of my databases, in this case is from decision support, expert systems, my AI systems. I could have many of these databases. And what I'm going to get is detailed reports. The detailed reports could be in other languages that I could get. It could go through those systems. This is what the story is on all of those. What we call FAS. Everybody see that? FAIS. Do you see that? Functional Area Information Systems, Dylan. Functional Area Information Systems are almost exactly like all the departments we have in the School of Business, but they're based on to process businesses. So if you look at it, doesn't this look like almost our entire business school? But it's basically information systems for accounting, for finance, for marketing, operations, human resources. Each of these could have their own separate databases that are called those functional areas. So we have those functional areas where we're going to plan, we're going to budget, we're going to manage it, we're going to invest, we're going to control, and we're going to audit. Those are in accounting, we do the auditing. And guess what's going to be on top of these? What's the future of this is what, Dylan? Is basically putting AI to the futures of these, right? That now they're not really, they don't learn. A lot of operations people have to do. You have to then, up to now, what do they want? They want you to learn SQL, right? Dylan, they want all those coding. Later on, it will be those artificial intelligence systems. You tell it in English what you want, and it writes the code in SQL. So I don't even need, but what I can do is I can have those people, or you need to write a lot of SQL scripts. You can have like an assistant, Dylan, help you along. And sometimes when it makes mistakes, or you want to add, or you want to have it learn, it's good that you have the background of it. You have more of an understanding of it than someone that doesn't. But if someone, for instance, if I ask Drake, he says, I don't know SQL, and he wanted to query for human resources some information, he could then say, basically have it done in English, and the assistant would write the SQL code for him. You understand that, Drake? You wouldn't have to write it, though, that it's in part of it. So you can think about it. All of this is done. These businesses are done in the financial planning businesses, that financial transactions. Look at this. Does this sound familiar, Drake? Stock exchanges managing all those financial transactions. We were doing that, right? I don't want to be, do I want to automate? I sure do. Managing multiple currencies, thinking about this war situation that's going on in the world. Do you think currencies are going crazy now? How's gold doing lately? Do you have any idea? Dylan, what do you think gold's doing? Like, do you think it's been going up or down?
I would say down.
What do you think, Colin? Gold. With the insecurity of all these wars going on.
Down.
Okay. What do you think, Spencer? Gold. The price of gold.
Can
you take gold with you?
No, so I would say up.
Can you take gold in your pocket?
No.
Do you have gold chain?
Well, yeah.
You have any gold? You have any gold jewelry, Spencer?
I do.
You do. Can you take it with you?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, in those cases within currencies, gold has really rised up. Why? Because there's insecurity, and people say, hey, I don't know what's happening. I can take gold with me. There's almost an idea. I can put it in my pockets. You can put it in your purse. You can take it away, right? Versus those currency, and it's doing it. So you can think about managing all those multiple currencies, it's doing it. In auditing, what does it mean that I want to control what's happening? I want to think about it. I want to monitor how the monies are being spent. Is there any fraud? Looking at financial ratios, looking at the difference between my sales and my expenses. All of this is done in what they call these financial systems. It's in-house a lot of times. And what do you think? Do you think in this case, it's on premise or in the cloud? In this case, Nicolette, where do you think these financial information systems are going? More towards saving it on my own computer or going to the cloud? What do you think the trend is?
To the cloud.
To the cloud. So sometimes people were doing these systems where they said the university basically had larger computers where they stored all that information. That's what they're going. They're going to the cloud. And where you see it here in human resources, right? For all my payroll, my benefits. Dylan, when you work for the university and you're getting paid, do you go through a system? What do you go through? Do you just do it by hand? What do you have to do when you work so many hours?
Well, I input my stuff onto Workday, which is like a payroll.
Right.
company.
And guess what? Do you think that is? Do you think that's an enterprise system?
Yeah,
Yes. Do you think that it's cloud-based?
definitely.
Definitely. And do you think that basically they even have something where it's called Workday? We'll talk about it, where it can be by industry. So you can think here on this that I have examples of these functional areas. Think about the word, put in your notes here. What are functional areas? Basically, functional areas you can think about it are parts of businesses, like business departments. And in this case is financial, human resource, productions, marketing, accounting. All of these that we have is departments. These are departments, and these what they call are these information systems support these functions to make them more efficient and help. So what we have something is called ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning, that we need to know basically what they are, what are its benefits, and what are its limitations. And guess what? It's basically within an organization that provides web-enabled links among company key businesses. And what is it going to take care of? Customers. And in this case, even in ERP could be what? Students. Cane Link is part of an ERP system. Suppliers, right? Relevant parties who are all my, basically can be all my employees. So you can think about an ERP system is just for the entire organization. So think about not only just for the accounting department or for the marketing department or the different schools, but rather you can have different modules. And sometimes what they do is some companies don't take it for all, they take it for parts. And what do we have in the middle? In this case, Dylan, this shape is what? This cylinder shape is what?
The database shape.
It's the database shape. So you can see now they call it the ERP platform, what's overriding it, and they have databases behind it. And they may have like a manufacturing database, human resources databases, and they may have, in this case, customer relationship management, e-business, business intelligence, supply, especially when was this important? COVID, you remember we had all supply issues. So these are the modules that you have for these, what they call enterprise. One of the ones that you have is CRM, is customer relationship management. And guess what they're now doing? What is the trend? Going to AI and having scripts. So all of those chatbots, I can have some humans, but I also can have them be intelligent. The supply chain is adding AI. Business intelligence, of course, it's adding AI. So you can think about, I'll talk about it, is they have to be flexible, agile, and where are they going? Of course, first of all, they're all in the cloud. And the other one, what's the latest trend? And they're all going towards AI. And what you have to do is it's important for us when we get new software to get our data in there and our data correct. Because if payroll is available, Dylan, you want to get paid correctly. I want to get paid correctly, right? I want to have the right financials correctly. I want to be able, when I get all the revenue from the students, right? And then we pay the coach. How much are we paying him? I heard 8 million was his contract. Maybe now they were, maybe he's worth it now, right? Is basically, where's that coming in our systems? On premise, then, this is fading out. So you can put in your notes there. If I ask on premise, meaning having the system reside, is fading out. And what do we have? You remember, as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. We got ERP as a service. The advantages, I have someone else to take care of it. I have a whole group to get it. When it updates, it gets updated. Scalable, meaning that if I start off with 1,000 students and I go to 10,000 students, that's what it means, scalable. You remember what we talked about, the cloud getting scaled? It's the same thing. It's not clear whether cloud-based are more secure than on-premise. It depends on who's taking care of the on-premise. Sometimes cloud is more reliable than on-premise. It depends who's taking care of it. And those, basically what I have then is I have departments taking care of all the flow of all my purchase statements. I don't want, when I get approved, I don't want to do this. I want it to be automated. And this is where AI is going to try to learn, and it's going to be integrated. So if I look at one of the most famous ones that we use, it's called Workday. So if I type in Workday, look what it says. Lo and behold, what does it say? Workday Enterprise Management Cloud. Notice what it has right after that: finance, HR. And if I look at how they're learning it, I didn't even ask it, Nicole, right? What's the first thing it says? Explore Workday learning. See how Workday can drive force, radius, and empower your growth to skills. So what are these called? These are called dashboards, and they can give you summaries of what's happening in my organization. And basically Workday, they're saying best in class, move forward with what? Collaborative, continued, and guess what they say right here? So you see that? What does this see? Do you see that? Embedded what? AI for maximum performance. Nobody wants to be left out. People aren't unsure what to do, but when people are now going to be choosing their software, they're going to be looking for what? Seb, have AI. They're not even sure what am I supposed to do. And then when I type in artificial intelligence, when I click on it, it basically comes up with your people are AI, call it a dream team. Because what is the problem? What do you think people are scared of in this case, Taylor? What do you think people, when they say your people are AI, call it a dream team? What do you think? Why do they put your people? What do you think they're scared of? Corporations.
People thinking that it's like all online and stuff,
Well, not online, but what?
like automated, like there's no
It's
actual people
and you
involved.
work, guess what, Taylor? You work for the university, right? And you're part of the ERP. And guess what, Taylor? You say, hey, I'm going to lose my job. So why it's interesting. Why they say your people is that they basically are trying to say, I call it a Workday. Look at this. At Workday, AI and machine learning are at the core of our platform. What does it mean? Why are they saying it? That they're going to learn based on our results. And as a part of your workflow, they're powering intelligent predictions, not dumb predictions, right? Nicole, would you want a dumb prediction? No, you want intelligent. So in this case, it's almost, I'm showing you that it's almost like marketing statements here. Who wants dumb predictions, right? And automation like no one else can. It's over the top, of course. The devil is in the details, but this is where everything's going. And what I want you to do is, you're familiar with it, that you can see already. They say, read a white paper. There's AI, and then there's AI at the Workday way. For nearly a decade, we've invested in AI to push the boundaries of human potential. Look at that. I love it in this case, Josie, is that they're pushing the boundaries of human potential. They're all the time, because who's taking this is people have to basically what, Andrew? Basically employees have to say, hey, we're purchasing this Workday Enterprise. And if you are the head, what are you going to be afraid of? Hey, I get this and I lose my job. And all my employees aren't going to want to use it because they go, what do I need? What are you going to need me for? And guess what, Andrew? You probably will. They don't like to say it up front, but they are thinking about cutting some of their workforce. That is the truth. If they are really that efficient, or finding other things for that workforce to do. So they're saying, pushing the boundaries of human potential. Today, that's still true with cutting edge organizations. And look at this. What are they talking about? Intelligence becomes the standard. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean, but AI is embedded. A lot of words. It almost looks like they had chatbots write this, isn't it? Because it doesn't make it, we don't even know what that means. Quality data and then some. What does that mean? And then some. Do I want more than the quality data? And then they say our users then use billions of transactions. And supply what? What does clean mean? Dylan, when you see clean data, what does that mean?
Like
You're my
no
data
errors
analytics person.
and duplicates.
It's what?
Like no errors or duplicates or
Yes,
anything?
clean means that it's correct. Clean means that it's accurate and it's correct and it's not going to be duplicated. It's not going to say if we're a rental car company, instead of somebody was born in 2000, it says somebody was born in 1000. Coherent, that the data makes sense, is truly unique. And AI with integrity, what does that mean? That a lot of times that AI comes across as such an authoritative figure that we're upfront with our customers about how our ML models are developed and assessed, and we always leave the final decisions. Look at this. Seb, do you see that? To whom? To humans. Never AI. Because what are people afraid of? That they'll make a decision and it's not correct. Maybe I'm not sure that's correct. We always leave the final decision. It depends. Maybe it can make a better decision than humans are. But I think a lot of these new technologies, when they're putting it in almost, Seb, as a fear factor that humans have about it. They're going to take my data. They're going to make decisions. Sometimes it's true, but sometimes maybe the AI could be. And this is the idea. The future of work is less drudge work. This is almost a great way in which you think about, I can use this example for what people are thinking about. What are the advantages of using that AI is I can have my people do less drudge work and elevate human capabilities and improve the way we work everywhere by making finance and HR more intelligent. Again, elevate human capabilities. Maximize your people's potential. Again, talking about your people, giving them growth possibilities, learning, because guess what, Andrew? You're going to have to teach those people how to use these systems, right? It's going to be different. Even though they knew how that worked before. So now all of a sudden with the AI, you're still going to have to teach people. So you phrase it to them as maximizing fewer errors. And look at this. AI-led tech, ethics-led design. What do you think that means, Andrew?
Me?
Mm-hmm. Ethics-led.
I would say that it's led in a way that I don't know.
Is ethical.
yeah. Like I don't know how to describe ethics.
It's basically what they're thinking is that what are the beefs against AI is that it's biased, right? That it's going to be stealing my data, that it's going to be stealing other people's data. I can't trust it. So it's ethics-led design. I don't know what that means either. You know what I mean? But they're throwing it in there, right? Because they know that it's those people in my class that are marketing, you almost can see how they took, what are the concerns? Somebody did like a focus group, Andrew, and they said, what are the concerns of people wanting to buy this? Let's throw it in there. And it almost like give them the idea that it's ethics-led design. I have no idea what that even means, but they kind of, and look at this, must be trustworthy, and trust must be built in. That's where everybody, you go to anywhere, another company that's really big in enterprise is called Salesforce. So in this case, if I looked at Monday's another one, you can see here, Salesforce.com. This is another popular one. It's an American cloud-based software company headquartered in San Francisco, provides what? Customer relationship management software and application focused on what? Sales, customer service, marketing automation. And I bet you think, Josie, that this is going to have, it's one of the largest companies, right? It started, Dylan, the CEO started working, he used to work for Oracle database. And they were one of the first cloud divisions. And look at this, Nicole. What does it say in the first page? Data plus what?
AI.
AI plus CRM, which is customer relation management. Plus, they make it as an equation. And look at this. I love it. What do I love about it? I love it in this case, Frederick, because what does it say right here? Trust. Do you see that, Fred? That it says trust, that everybody's worried. I don't trust it. I can't trust it. Who knows? It says it authority equals. Who doesn't want to have, Ryan, more sales? And guess what? My customers, you want them to be miserable, Ryan? No, I want them to be happier. And they make it like it's in one sense. How do you do that? Start a free trial, watch the demos, and guess what? Join small business, helps you work what? Smarter and grow faster. Sales, guess what? AI-driven sales, watch demos. Service with AI support. See all products. Customer 360 driven by AI. The University of Miami, Cane Link. Drake, have you ever used Cane Link? It's using Salesforce, the university. So if I look at industries on any of these, guess what? It's automotive because they work differently, right? Communication, education. And if I look at exploring education, right? Efficiently specific to the thing, guess what? Salesforce for education. Personalized learner relations with AI. Drive insights. Deliver impact. And what do they want to do? They're looking for the universities. What do they care about? In this case, Ryan, is what? Student enrollment is up. Do I want to retain? Why do I want to retain students, you think, Ryan? If I'm a university administrator, why do I want to retain students?
I mean, it looks good for the school.
Right. They are, retention is one of the categories that they give for ratings. What else? Besides, it looks good for the school. What do you think, Priscilla? Why do they say first year retention rates are up? What does the university care about that? You and I are administrator of the university. Do we want retention rates to go down, or what does retention mean?
It's showing that it's effective.
Yeah, but what does retention mean? What does retention mean? First year retention mean?
It means that people are sticking with it.
Sticking with it, right? And why do you care as an administrator?
Because then you know that it works and that
well, I don't. If you drop out, you come here for the first year, Priscilla, and you say, you know what, I didn't like it. I want to transfer. What do we lose by you leaving? First of all, we lose our reputation, right? That we don't want you to badmouth us, right? But what else do we lose?
You're losing money.
Yes, revenue, right? So it's just like a company, right? Like a customer. If you were a customer of Amazon, you said, you know what, or you do Walmart and you say, hey, they don't give me good service. What do? They want to retain their customers. Fundraising, do I want to retain legacy? We support the entire journey. And notice here, they even have these industries for what I'm talking about. These are all enterprise solutions. Is education, where are they based then, Dylan? Where? On premise?
The cloud.
In the cloud. See the things? And then they tell me those positive points. Engage learners with modern consumer experience. That's why Cane Link, right? I want to get the courses. I don't want to be sitting in line, finding out when's the course, being on a waiting list. Personalized student support with intelligence. See how work smarter. Scale with lifelong learning. Guess what? Why do we want to do this? Now, when you graduate, Dylan, what do I want you? I want you to keep on being part of the university. So I'll give lifelong learning. So when there's something new in AI, I can give another certificate. I can give lifelong learning, Dylan. So there'll be new AI. What you did, what you finished, what you finish 5 years later, it's going to be completely different. You got a good foundation, but it's going to be completely different. So you can see here those core educational, cloud features, recruitment. How do I do that? And guess what? And then they say here, their pricing for the cloud, and how they do it is per user per month. So notice in the cloud, what does that mean then, Seb? Scalable, that a small school, right, doesn't have to pay as much as a large, let's say, University of Texas system, right? They can scale up. And then you can see here that CRM. So they are one of the leaders. And what are they the leaders in? What are they trying to do here in the solution and their resources? In any of their events and seminars, I guarantee you their events and seminars is going to be AI. Am I right? What do they do? Alumni. What are they putting in there already, Drake? AI. What are they putting in here? AI. Right? Even in Espanol and so forth here, in different languages here, it's basically doing that. So do you see where, and it's the same thing when I do my workday, right? When I do then workday, just like Zoom, Miami.edu, notice workday's coming up, here's what's happening. And this is universities then setting it up for what? For basically for keep your home, keep your work, view all your apps, benefits, my team off, purchases, expenses, recruiting. And even they're keeping track of human resources. They're keeping track of even vaccine compliance. They have then, what is the university does is the university then has a team that only works on Workday. But who supports it, Seb? Who does the updates? Workday does the updates. You understand? Where's it housed? Is it housed at the University of Miami, Seb? I can't hear you.
No.
It'll be in the cloud. It'll be some of the servers that Workday has. And they'll have their own consultants help the University of Miami what? Basically personalize it to the university, but they have a product Workday for universities. So we're no different, really, how we're set up than another 100 or thousands of different universities. Do you understand that, Frederick? So this is what they call what? Enterprise resource planning. Where's the direction? Cloud is always there, right, Fred? And where else is it going? Where else? I asked you.
Like the organization?
Yeah, the software, it's going, they're adding AI to it. Artificial intelligence. So when the agents are there, when I have to figure out, for instance, my pay or who's working for me or my expenses or the purchases, I won't have to spend a lot of time trying to track it down. I bought my computer, right? The university provides me a computer. I don't have to track it down. There's administrators there, Drake, that are setting this up. This can be automated and the AI system will know already, it will be trained. And if there are questions, basically there'll be a conversation about that. Even when I contact someone that's even in the beginning starting to work on Workday will have like an assistant next to them to answer a lot of the questions. And when the same questions are done and it's incorrect, Greg, what do we want to do? We want to train it again to get the right answers and give us what? Accurate ones versus the same one. So if I go to Canelink, right? If I went to a cane link on this part, I would know then what? That this was set up for reload. This would set up then, I guess Miami cane link. This would be set up then University of Miami, right? Right. This in the background is what? Drake, this is Salesforce. But do you know it? No. Do you care? I don't care. But this is all set up, right? And what do you think? Do you think every other university needs something for faculty? Do they have Blackboard, right? Integrated with Blackboard? Do they have a class search? We're not unique having a class search, but rather than the university coming up with writing their own app, this is all integrated with the course catalog, student well-beings. Notice then they start adding even sexual assault, resources, undergraduate applicant portal. All of this, they're saying for your applicants, and then there's something else that'll be for their alumni. So Lily, you see what an enterprise? We're an enterprise, right? What this is planning. So what's important for us students, create something with Salesforce on students. And what they did was, you can think, Lily, we really have a number of different enterprise systems that we use separately. Workday we use for payroll. You see that, and expenses. We're using then Salesforce for like cane link for admissions, keeping track of everybody that applied. We call it customer resource management. Who's the university's customer, Lily, you think? Lily, who's the university's customer? What?
The students.
We want to what? Retain you? We want to what? Keep you happy? Just like a customer, right? If you run a business, we're a business too. We're nonprofit, but still we need revenues. Right? Behind you, aren't you on campus there? Lily?
Yeah.
Who's keeping up with the internet access, the network, those the nice furniture, all these places, right? Requires what? Revenue to take care of it. We don't get any revenue, we're all going under, right? When first COVID came up, they asked the professors, right? We're in such dire straits. We don't have students, we don't pay you. So, give up your 401k, and if you're making a couple of millions, give back a couple of thousands. Questions? So that's the enterprise resource that we go to. So what I want to make sure is that I look for it. So what's due then is for next Monday is go through, now that you have the feel for what is ERP, you can do the quiz, Ryan, and the adaptive assignments, and it makes a lot more sense, right? When they're talking about it, you can go through this Wednesday. This Wednesday is what, Ryan?
We have this speaker coming in and teaching us how to use
for this one, for personal.ai. This company is coming in with the world deserves a second you create my AI. So we'll all have our own personal AI. That'll be like a persona of ourselves. And basically, what do we want to do with AI? Do we want to train it, Ryan? Sure do, right? Express yourselves, and then they basically discover it. And what I want to see in the future of their personal AIs is they're trying to get AI experts like this Eve, and they're trying to do like telephones. We'll talk to them as well and see where they're going in the future. And we'll see, Ryan, give me feedback if we want them to come back. Isn't that a great idea that we can get the CEO? This guy is starting his own company. He's been in other companies before. He's a founder of many He's an entrepreneur in many companies, and he just started this company. So we're like on the ground up. Maybe we can see if it's of interest, maybe we can be like his focus group, or maybe we can do some other things. That's where I think it's kind of like fun, getting out of just the traditional Drake of the traditional reading and seeing, hey, what is the latest and greatest? That's what I love about it, to share with you. So what do you think, Drake? So what I would like to do is make sure that I'll put up then the Rubik's Cube for you, that what you need to do. And what I want to do for your projects is try to start using some of these AI chatbots to be with you, that we'll be able to do. And we'll be able to have all those skills. Okay, so let me stop share for a minute and answer any of your questions. We're okay. So let's do then. I will that last group. So wait, with your group then, I definitely want to see you plus other groups that have some additional questions for me. And then we'll meet on Wednesday. I require you can tell those other groups we have 33 students here. I don't know if others have dropped, but our will be required attendance, and we'll go through and I ask them at the end of the session, I want everybody to have a personal AI, a persona, and see what it is. Let's train it. Let's see what happens. And then we can be critiques on it and see where it's going to go in the future. Okay, so let's now take attendance. Check in. Stay with me. I definitely want Way's group, but others that you want me to answer any of your questions, have some issues that we can discuss. So 4503. Make sure you have your final proposals. I can check off. Okay, 4503. Okay. So, Seb, you have a question? You okay? Frederick, you have a question?
Thank you.
Sorry, I was just signing in the attendance.
Yeah. So sign up, get it all in. Great.
Professor, you want me to stay for the next class, right?
If you would like they're going over the Wix.
Yeah, right.
So I think, let me just check to see when.
My Wi-Fi isn't working. Sorry.
Let me see when is she coming in. Did you get in, by the way? Did they give you?
Yep, it looks good.
Okay, let me see if she's Ellery. Okay. So she's coming at 5:15, so. Okay. It'd be okay. Good. So come in, so I think that way you can kind of get a heads up and
Right.
kind of be the head of your group, you know what I mean? And start thinking about how we want to do this. Okay, Ryan, what's up?
I had two questions. So for Wednesday, you don't want us to do the personal AI before
You
class?
can play around with it and then see, but we're going to be doing, he's going to show us the new version. So sometimes it's
Just
good
kinda, like,
just to
walk
even
us
play
through it.
around with it. What?
He's just gonna walk us through how to do it,
He's
basically.
he's gonna walk us through and using all the capabilities and features. And what I asked him to do is I want everybody to have a personal AI at the end of the session.
Okay, and then my other question was,
Yeah.
do we have like after the final proposal, do we have like the next step for the group?
Yeah, the next step is we'll start on when we'll start the Wix website, and I'll
All
put that up. The
Okay.
Wix.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Francisco, what's up?
Yeah, hi, Professor. I have a question about the proposal. Do I need to add one more proposal on the group? Because there only one proposal
Okay,
here.
and Francisco, are you part of the group?
No, I'm not. I don't have a question, but yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, so let me see. Let me stop recording, okay? Wait.
Yeah.
So let me stop recording. And let me stop here. Let me stop sharing.